Everyone. I'm Rosa, Executive Director of the Broward County Bar Association, and welcome to our second Florida Jurist Recognizing Hispanic Excellence. My co-host tonight is my good friend, Aaron Gibson. He's past president of the Broward County Hispanic Bar Association, current president of Broward Inns of Courts, and owner of Fort Lauderdale-based law firm Gibson Lawyers. Welcome, Aaron.
Thank you, Braulio. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a great program for you all this evening. Last year, in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month, even through the pandemic, we decided to create this program to unify the entire state of Florida's Hispanic legal community during this month of celebration. And much like last year's program, today we will again be honoring and recognizing some great Hispanic judges across the state. But this event could not be possible without all of the great organizations that have partnered up to make this event possible. Braulio?
That's true, Aaron, my friend. And this event has been a labor of Latin love. And it would not be possible with our partner host organizations. Let me list them for you. And feel free to emote emojis applauding them. So our great partner here locally is the Broward County Hispanic Bar Association. We have the Hispanic National Bar Association, the Cuban American Bar Association, the North Dade Bar Association, the Escambia-Santa Rosa Bar Association, the Tampa Hispanic Bar Association, the Orange County Bar Association, the Puerto Rican Bar Association of Florida, Sarasota County Bar Association, Hillsborough County Bar Association, Hispanic Bar Association of Central Florida, and the Jacksonville Bar Association. Links to their websites are posted in our Zoom chat. Feel free to check them out. And now, Aaron, welcome all the dignitaries, please.
Special thanks to all the dignitaries joining us today. We're happy to have you here. Going in order from smallest or the smallest number to the largest number, the Fourth Circuit, one of tonight's honorees, Judge Robert Arias. From the Sixth Circuit, retired Judge Miriam Irizarry. From the Ninth Circuit, Judge Torlica Nunez Navarro, a transplant from our own Broward County, who moved there to be closer to her family. And one of tonight's honorees, Judge Gisela Laurent. From the 11th Circuit, Judges Stephanie Silver, Scott Janowitz, Elijah Levitt, Raul Cuervo, Miguel M. De La O, Victoria Ferrer, Carol Kelly, Robert T. Watson, and tonight, one of our honorees, Gina Beovides. From the 12th Circuit, Judges Charles E. Williams and tonight's honoree, Maria Ruhl. From the 13th Circuit, Judges Monique Scott and tonight's honoree, Judge Michael Bagge Hernandez. And from the 17th Circuit here in Broward, Judges Betsy Benson, Kathleen McCarthy, George Odom, Florence Barner, Jeffrey Levinson, Marina Garcia Wood, who is the founding member of the Broward County Hispanic Bar Association, Judges Michael Davis, Carlos Rodriguez, Robert Diaz, Stacy Ross, Michael Robinson, Fabian Fenstock, Peter Holden, and tonight's honoree, Judge Carlos Rebollo. Thank you, dignitaries. Next, we have Broward County Bar Association President Jamie Finizio Bascombe, who's going to introduce Broward County Chief Judge Jack Tudor for some opening remarks. Madam President.
Gracias, Aaron. Buenas noches. Es que yo estoy muy orgullosa para presentar nuestro juez, Judge Tudor. La cosa es que él no va a entender nada, entonces yo voy a cambiar para inglés, okay? So it's my pleasure to introduce our Chief Judge Tudor. I happen to be a wannabe Hispanic. I am Italian, that is Latin, and I did live in Colombia, in Bogota. So I'm so excited to be here tonight amongst such a wonderful group. I'm so happy that it's gotten to this point where we have such a large attendance and so much excitement to honor all those of you who I know have worked so hard to get where you are, all of the judges across the state to make changes for us. So without further ado, I'm sure that most of the state has heard about our incredible Chief Judge and what he's done down here in the 17th Circuit during these challenging and trying times. And he has kept steadfast and focused to make sure we move forward and get as much done as we can for justice down here. So we are very honored to have you, Chief Judge. Thank you for supporting all of our events that we do for the Broward County Bar Association. We just had our installation recently and the judge gave some great words and we were we had a wonderful turnout. We're happy to have all of you throughout the state being involved in our events that we're doing, and we look forward to continuing to collaborate with you all. So Chief Judge, I'll let you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam President. I want to thank the sponsors of the event for coming out here tonight, and particularly all my colleagues here in the 17th, as well as my judicial friends throughout the state, and to congratulate the 6 judges that are being honored here this evening, and especially our own Judge Carlos Rebollo. Well-deserved recognition here tonight. I think we did one of these maybe a couple years ago because of COVID. It was well attended. I have to commend Braulio and the members of the Broward County Bar for expanding the bar's reaches well beyond the 17th Judicial Circuit here in Broward to throughout the state. Because of Braulio's work, we've become brethren to as far north as having Chief Judge Mahan and Judge Schwizner attend our events. And so it's very much to their credit, the Broward County Bar reaching out and presenting this outstanding program. And I also, of course, want to congratulate the other 6 recipients of their recognition tonight for their good work, both on the Hispanic level and the judicial level. So I welcome all of you to Broward County, so to speak, as best we can through remote means. And I hope you have a great program tonight. And thank you very much for inviting me, Braulio.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Madam President. You know, what I have to say about Chief Judge Tudor is he's the best. And so I'm off script, but I'm just telling you how it is. Chief Judge is anything we need here. And you could see he's just a great leader locally and statewide. And we're just so grateful, Chief,
Thank you,
for
Braulio.
everything you do. Seriously.
Thank you.
With that, there were a couple of people that weren't mentioned. Judge Andrea Gunderson and Judge Tabitha Blackman are also here from the 17th. And just a special privilege. I want to shout out to my fellow executive directors across the state that work with me. I cannot do this alone. It's the friends and colleagues you build around the state. So Jenny Brown from Orange County, Holly Lips from Sarasota, Craig Shoup from Jacksonville, Jeff Nall from Escambia-Santa Rosa, talking about long distances, Chief Judge Tudor, and John Kynes from Hillsborough. You guys are all special friends, and I'm grateful for your support. With that, thank you to our title sponsors. Oh, and I forgot one. I'm sorry. Board of Governors here is Lorna Brown Burton. Lorna is a big supporter of the Broward County Bar Association, and thank you, Lorna, for being there. Now, our sponsors. I want to thank our title sponsor, Scott Westheimer, our platinum sponsors, Kelly Eustall, and YLD of Florida, Todd Baker. And with that, I'm going to ask Scott now to say a few words as our title sponsor.
Super. Thank you, Braulio. I appreciate it. Good evening, everyone. I'm Scott Westheimer. I'm a trial lawyer from Sarasota and the 12th Circuit representative on the Board of Governors. Kudos and congratulations to the Broward County Bar Association and the Broward County Hispanic Bar Association for taking the lead on this event. And congratulations to the 11 other voluntary bar associations throughout the state that worked so diligently to put this amazing program together to honor Hispanic excellence in the legal profession and to honor the superstar group of jurists. We've seen firsthand during the pandemic how our voluntary bars have worked together and they've collaborated, and it's helped all our members and really shown excellence in the practice of law. And we really appreciate all you do. It's an honor to be the title sponsor tonight, especially after seeing the first event and how amazing it was. I want to congratulate all the judges honored here tonight, which include so many of my friends from across the state and the 12th Circuit's very own Judge Maria Ruhl. Thank you to all the honorees for your dedication, leadership, passion, and commitment to justice. You're role models to all of us and for many generations to come. Thank you for everything you've done for the legal community and the state. So congratulations again. I look forward to a great second annual event. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate your support. And now we have our platinum sponsor, YLD president, a decade-long friend, Todd Baker. Love him, my boy. You're muted, sir.
That is the line of 2020 and 2021, and I fell victim to it. Me llamo Todd Baker y estoy emocionado de estar aquí. That's about all I got for you. So
All right.
we're honored on behalf of the Young Lawyers Division to sponsor this event, and not just because it's put on by the Broward County Bar and my Puerto Rican brother from another mother, Braulio, but because of what this event means. 13 different affiliates from various circuits across the state are recognizing 6 amazing jurists throughout the state for their contribution to the community and the profession. At the Young Lawyers Division, we pride ourselves at being at the forefront of inclusion and equality within the profession. To that end, last year we started the Wild Diaz Me campaign, and that was to showcase amazing attorneys from different backgrounds. This year, under the leadership of Rebecca Taylor and Sierra Willis, along with Marianne Curtis and Nick Zabresny, we're doing an affiliate edition. And on Tuesday of this week, it was Takeover Tuesday, and we let the Broward County Hispanic Bar Association take over our social media platform to showcase all of the wonderful things they've done. We want people to know that regardless of your race, religion, gender, orientation, or identity, there's a place for you within the profession, and you can make a tremendous impact for those around you. To our outstanding jurists, thank you for everything you do and have done. You have a special place within your community, which is why you were recognized and nominated for these incredible awards. Countless lives have been changed because of your compassion and your efforts, and I just have one humble ask of all of you. While you have done so much to directly impact lives, I have one ask. Find another judge in your circuit and help them tap into their potential. Help them get involved in an affiliate of theirs. Help them get involved in their community. Help them make a difference, because while you can help thousands, if you help the right people, you can help tens or hundreds of thousands. So I encourage you to do that. There's probably a young lawyer in your circuit that appears before you that's not a member of these 13 wonderful affiliates. Encourage them to join that and get involved. And as a point of personal privilege, I got to give a shout out to my friend Carlos for his recognition and his receipt of an award. It's been too long since we've been to a concert together, but hopefully when COVID ends, we can go see Dropkick Murphys or Guns N' Roses. So congratulations. And I hope next year in advance, I'm nominating Tarlika out of Orlando for the award. So with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Thanks for letting us be a part of it. And again, congratulations to all the award recipients.
Todd, my brother, thank you. Appreciate it. Wonderful comments. And before we go to our next speaker, of course, a few other VIPs that have reached out. We have from the 12th Circuit, Judge Moss and Judge Steele. Welcome. And we also have Judge Carlo Rodriguez from the 17th and Board of Governor Jay Kim here with us. Thank you. And now we have Lisa Capote, who's the immediate regional past president of the Hispanic National Bar, with a few words for us.
Thank you, everyone. Lisa Capote on behalf of Luis Salazar, the current regional president for the Hispanic National Bar, as well as our members. I want to congratulate all of the honorees this evening and also congratulate Braulio, his team, and the Broward County Hispanic Bar Association on a wonderful event and having the insight and forethought to put together an event to unite the entire state and all the wonderful things that these judges continue to do for our community. So congratulations again to all the honorees and to Braulio and his team. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Greatly support the National Hispanic Bar Association support of this statewide event, and looking forward to working on more events with you. And now we have a message from a friend of many of ours, Federal Judge Rodolfo Ruiz, the U.S. District Court of Southern District of Florida. So give me a moment here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and play that message for you.
And while he couldn't be here, he's actually in Miami-Dade right now doing something that is of really great importance for Hispanic Heritage Month. So he's happy to tell us via video what he's currently doing right now.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Judge Rodolfo Rudy Ruiz, and I wanted to take a moment this evening to welcome you all to the Florida Jurist, the second annual Florida Jurist Recognizing Hispanic Excellence event. I am a proud member of the Hispanic community here in South Florida. And unfortunately, I cannot be there with you all this evening, but all of the voluntary bar associations that have come together to celebrate this evening have given me the opportunity to just make a few brief remarks and record these remarks for you all. The reason why I'm not with you live, even though I am with you in spirit, is because we are actually celebrating a major milestone in the Southern District of Florida that, quite honestly, could not come at a better time or a better month than Hispanic Heritage Month. And that is our new chief judge, the Honorable Cecilia Altanaga, becomes the first Hispanic female chief in the history of the Southern District of Florida. So right now, as you're watching this, I am participating in a passing of the gavel from Chief Judge Moore to Chief Judge Altanaga. And she is breaking what is another ceiling for all of us proud members of the Hispanic community here in South Florida. Now, it's not only South Florida that's being celebrated this evening, and I wanted to share just how far I think we have come in terms of the diversity on the bench. As I look at the names of many of my colleagues from the state bench, Judge Arias, Judge Laurent, Judge Beovides, Judge Ruhl, Judge Bagge Hernandez, and Judge Rebollo, all fantastic jurists that I expect you'll all hear from this evening, and all from different circuits, the 4th, the 9th, the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, and the 17th. I think that is a testament to how far and wide the reach is and how strong the diversity is on the bench, especially when it comes to members of the Hispanic community. Now, we know really what our stated goal is when it comes to diversity and why it's so important. We hope always to represent and in many ways be the face of those folks who appear before us in court every day. And I think tonight is a special celebration of how strong Florida is in that regard, that those who come from Hispanic backgrounds and come to court and have proceedings in court and see someone on the bench that reflects their culture, their heritage, promotes a level of understanding. It promotes confidence, quite honestly, in the judiciary. And so I think we are all very fortunate that we can come together tonight and recognize how strong our state is when it comes to diversity and how many wonderful jurists we have that come from Hispanic heritage. And so I hope everyone has a wonderful evening tonight. And I apologize again for not being able to be there, but I am absolutely with you all in spirit. And thanks again to the many voluntary bars who have come together to promote and celebrate, quite honestly, how well our state does when it comes to judicial diversity. So thank you all again for giving me a moment to share my comments with you.
Wonderful news for Hispanic Heritage Month, and we all look forward to the long tenure of Chief Judge Altanaga. Thank you, Judge Ruiz.
Okay, as Aaron had previously mentioned, the Florida Hispanic Jurist honorees are Judge Carlos Robolo, Judge Gina Beovides, Judge Maria Ruhl, Judge Michael Bagge Hernandez, Judge Gisela Laurent, Judge Roberto Arias. We'll take you county by county as we recognize each honoree, starting with Judge Carlos Robolo, who will be introduced, recognized, and interviewed by Broward County Hispanic Bar President Kristen Palacio and President-elect Nazarena Hauser. Ladies.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kristen Palacio, President of the Broward County Hispanic Bar.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Nazarena Hauser. I'm currently serving as chair of the Hispanic Lawyers Committee, as well as president-elect of the Broward County Hispanic Bar Association.
We have the honor of having Judge Carlos Robolo here with us today. And Judge Robolo has been a Broward County Circuit Court judge for 14 years, and he's currently in the Juvenile Delinquency Division. Not only is Judge Robolo well-respected on the bench, he goes above and beyond the call of duty with his community service involvement and his mentorship. He attends every meeting for the Hispanic Lawyers Committee. He goes to every event that the Broward County Hispanic Bar and the Hispanic Lawyers Committee puts together. And while he's not one for the limelight, he's always working behind the scenes for us and encouraging us. I have had the benefit of his words of wisdom and his encouragement throughout the years. And it is with personal pleasure that we present this year's award for Hispanic Judge of the Year in Broward County. to Judge Carlos Rebollo. I would lift the award and give it to him, but it is ridiculously heavy. So I'm going to leave it there, and you can take that with you.
Okay, I'll have Judge Rodriguez help me bring it out to the car. Thank you. Thank you, Broward County Bar Association, President Jamie Finizio Bascom, YLD Todd Baker, thank you. Thank you, CABA, thank you, the Puerto Rican Bar Association, thank you all the bar associations that are involved in putting together this wonderful event. I commend you, I salute you, and I want you to know that I'm truly honored and consider this an honor and a privilege. And most importantly, though, I want to thank Kristen Palacio and Nazarena Hauser. I'm sure that they had a lot to do with the fact that I got this. So thank you, Kristen. Thank you, Nazarena. And thank you all for being part of this wonderful event tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge Roberto. Kristen and I had the opportunity to spend some time with you recently, and we were able to record an interview, which everyone will have access to shortly. For our attendees today, we'd like to ask you a couple of questions so that our audience can get to know you a little better. Can you please share with us your background and upbringing and how that helped lead you to become a judge?
So to understand where I came from, my parents fled Cuba. They fled the revolution, the Castro communist dictatorship, totalitarian revolution. In 1962, my sister was 5 years old and I was 3 years old. When they got on the airport in Havana, they were ordered to take all their jewelry off, all their belongings, any money, anything they had on them, take it off. They made it to Miami. I don't know if it was actually the Freedom Tower, although it may have been. I've asked my mom and dad, they couldn't tell me for sure. They were given some toiletries, $100, and a ticket for the four of us to New York because my mother had a brother who was living in the Williamsport section in Brooklyn, New York. From there, we managed to actually move to Newark, New Jersey, which is where I grew up. My father worked 2-3 jobs at a time. He worked at a tool and die company. He worked at a place that was an ore refining company. It was called Engelhard. The smell that comes out of there is putrid, to say the least. But he would always tell me, he goes, I am doing this for you. I want you to go to school. And he emphasized school. Go to school, make something of yourself, do whatever you want to do, but become something, become a professional. I'm trying to give you the opportunities that I never had. My grandfather on my mother's side before him was a Spaniard. He was from Spain. He was didn't have much, like Abraham Lincoln. He didn't have much formal education, but he actually read more Shakespeare than probably anyone that I know. He worked with his hands. He worked with wicker. And anyway, the bottom line is on my mother's side, all the family moved over eventually to New York or New Jersey. On my father's side, he had 9 children. 5 came over from Cuba, 4 stayed on the island. My dad was the youngest, or second youngest, and he was the last one. He passed about a year ago. But, and they, my mom, my mother, my father, they are the reason why I am here today and the reason why I am who I am. And it's a very universal story. It's not a common story just to Cubans. It applies equally to African Americans who fled slavery, but even later on after the Emancipation Proclamation in the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, they fled the South to the North for job opportunities and stuff. It's the story of Irish Americans, of Italian Americans, of Polish Americans, and I can go on and on, of Jamaican Americans, of Asian Americans. And that's the story of my life. That's my life story. And fortunately, I listened to my dad. In a town like Newark, it's a tough town, I have to admit. And I sadly, back then, it's come a long way. Kind of town where, I could be dead. I could have been part of a gang, dealing drugs, stealing automobiles and dead. Or I could have taken the advice that my parents gave me, and I did. And I'm here today because of them.
Judge, Broward County now has 15 Hispanic judges and general magistrates, which is some of our other counties being recognized today, and some of our judges have even less than that. So we have a two-part question for you. Why is it important to have Hispanic representation on the bench, and what steps should attorneys be taking who have an interest in pursuing a judgeship to position themselves for either an appointment or an election?
That's a good question. Judge Ruiz touched on the importance of diversity very well in his introductory speech. And congratulations to Judge Cecilia Altanaga. I did not know that she was elevated to the chief judge, and I'm very proud for her. But, the justice system in general is the bedrock of our society. It's the one area that everyone is going to deal with at one point or another, whether it's as a litigant in a probate matter, in a divorce matter, in a criminal matter, as a juror, you're going to deal with the judiciary. And so your common person is going into the courthouse, and I don't know how many people fit into the Broward County courthouse under normal circumstances, forget about COVID, probably 1,000, maybe even more, that go in and out of the courthouse every day. And for them to see, we have 90 judges, magistrates, probably another 10 or so, to see all white males up there, you get the feeling of like, okay, all white males, they must run the system. Whereas when they get to see a female judge up there, a female judge who is Asian, a female judge who speaks Spanish, or a judge, different kind of nationalities, different kind of ethnicities, religions, and so forth, but they get to see that, well, look at that, and I take advantage of it in my courtroom when I see a litigant, a juvenile, a witness or whatever, or to reach out to them and say, buenos dias, good morning in Spanish. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, and you can tell when someone doesn't speak Spanish. And they're like, okay, so this judge, yeah, his name seems like it's Hispanic. He is Hispanic. He just said good morning to me in Spanish. And that breaks the ice. And that gives not only that person, but all the other people, as they go into all these different courtrooms, and they're in front of Judge Garcia Wood, and they're in front of Judge Elijah Williams, and they're in front of Judge Betsy Benson, and they're in front of all the other judges, and they're saying, well, this represents our community. And, we should all appreciate the fact that we live in a very wonderful, diverse community. We really do. And that's another thing about my upbringing is Newark was a very diverse place. And the nationality to race to creed was across the spectrum. So I grew up with diversity. I've always embraced it. And now I'm here in Broward County, and I've come to embrace it even more. It's very important for us to have not highly, but qualified judges on the bench. And I know one day I'm going to see Ms. Palacio and Ms. Hauser, as I'm a retired old man who can barely walk, and say, oh yeah, I remember Ms. Palacio. Nazarena Palacio, yes. I'll end it in a real brief. It's the cornerstone. The justice system is the cornerstone of our society. It needs to reflect that everyone's involved so that the people can trust it. If you can't trust our justice system, then we're in trouble. The rule of law no longer exists.
Since we have one more minute, we'll go off script and
Okay.
ask you a really easy question.
Uh-oh.
If you could be a singer in any band, what would it be?
That's a tough question, because I'm simple, but I'm complex. I know what you're looking for, Ms. Palacio. The easy answer would be Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, because I grew up growing up in New Jersey in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. It is almost impossible not to grow up with Bruce Springsteen. So I did. I can recite his lyrics. My cousin in South Carolina, he's younger than me. He just looks at me in amazement. You know, I took him, and my daughter was like 11 years old, to one of his concerts, and his daughter to the concerts. And they were in amazement at how I can recite all the lyrics to all his songs.
And yet that's not your answer.
The answer, well, Todd Baker, thanks, Todd, for telling the world that I like Guns N' Roses and the Dropkick Murphys. By the way, I don't have an answer. I honestly, I would need time to think about it. That's just how complex yet simple I am. But I do want to mention this. I go to the Dropkick Murphys concert, and I had never before in my life, I barely knew that it existed, but apparently there's a thing called a mosh pit. And this is my first time seeing it, and I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. And we were on the second level. It was at this club here called Revolution. So the good thing is we got to see it from above. It was an experience. Fortunately, Guns N' Roses, they're more from my era, from my genre. I see Judge Benson shaking her head and Robert Vaughn shaking his head. Yes, yes. Believe it or not, Guns N' Roses is more mellow than the Dropkick Murphys. But all right, I would love to be the lead singer of. Actually, you know who I'd love to be in that. I didn't meet her, but I saw her play a bunch of times with Celia Cruz, the Queen. I'd love to I'll play the bongos for her. That would be enough. That of a dream for me.
Congratulations, Judge Rebollo. Let's give it up for Judge Rebollo in Broward County.
Chris and I are honored to be here with you tonight, to be able to present you with this award. I know I speak for everyone in the county when I say thank you for your service. One of the qualities that I find is really the best quality you have, Judge, I personally feel, is your humility. But you are a strong supporter of the Hispanic community. You are an amazing judge, and we are honored to present you with this award tonight. Thank you for spending the time with us and for having everyone get to know you a little bit better.
Thank you. Now that I'm turning red in the face, the real thank you, and I really appreciate it, because I consider myself a humble person, and I want to be that way. I really detest arrogance and narcissism. I really want to thank the two of you. You're both very special. You are not the future. You're the present of Broward County. And I'm here to tell everyone that Broward County and Rosa, he is an amazing man. He is the James Brown of Broward County. He is the hardest working man in Broward County. You folks up in Sarasota, in Orlando, in the other county, in Miami-Dade, you have no idea how hard this man works. And we appreciate him. We love him, and we're going to keep him here forever. But these two, this president of the Broward County Bar Hispanic Association, which was started by another wonderful judge, Marina Garcia Wood, she's amazing. She's awesome. And Nazarena, who's going to follow her, and who is the chairperson of the Broward County Bar Association's Hispanic Lawyers Committee, is also very awesome. They are the present. They're not the future. They're the present. They're here, and they're here to stay. And they could be whatever they want to be. The future is in their hands.
Thank you.
That comes from the heart.
I will go ahead and turn it over to Braulio and Aaron.
Thank you, ladies. Aaron.
Thank you, President Palacio. Thank you, President-elect Hauser. Thank you, Judge Rebollo, and congratulations again. Braulio and I are going to be segueing from county to county with some fun facts of Florida's Hispanic population. First one up, we make up 26% of Florida, but 60% of us live in only 4 counties. Can you guess which 4 counties those are? You probably got it right. Broward, Miami-Dade, Monroe, and Palm Beach. But that number is slowly changing. Braulio?
Speaking of Miami-Dade, we now go there to recognize Judge Gina Beovides with CABA President Dax Bello and North Dade Bar Association President Rick Chisver. Gentlemen, take it away.
So I am not Dax Bello, but one of the beauties of being president of an august organization like CABA is that you get to delegate the jobs that you don't want to do. So my name's Jordy Martinez Sid. I think I was chosen for this because one, I'm a partner at the own Costco that is hosting this event. Two, I'm a member of the board of directors for the Cuban American Bar Association. And three, I am the very proud cousin of President Kristen Palacio of the Broward County Hispanic Bar Association. So, esa mi prima, and much love to Broward County and to the rest of the state. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for including us and including GABA and the North Dade Bar Association today. We are honored to be part of this, and we are equally honored to give an award today to the Honorable Gina Beovides. Judge Beovides is a longtime CABA board member. It is sometimes a thankless job, as she well knows. It was not thankless enough, so she decided to up her public service quotient and join the county court bench, and is now sitting on the circuit court bench here in the 11th Judicial Circuit. She is not only somebody geared to doing public service, but has a special place in the Hispanic community and is always focused on Hispanic issues. So it is our great honor today to honor Judge Beovides. And with that, I'm going to pass it to my colleague, Mr. Richard Schwizner of the North Dade Bar, who has a few words.
Yeah, hi, welcome all the way from North Dade Bar Association. Always come and supported us all the way on the border of Miami, Dade, and Broward, and we're down here to support you. You actually took part in one of the first Zoom bar lunches in the pandemic, and we thank you for taking part of that. We also thank you for driving in traffic to our events in Aventura. And that's worthy of an award just on its own. So from the North Dade Bar Association and all of the bar associations affiliated, the voluntary bar associations affiliated with Miami-Dade County, we thank you very much for your support, and we're here for you for anything that you need as well.
Thank you.
And now, Veo, the president of CABA, thank you very much for including us. I turn it over to you.
Thanks, Rick. And look, first off, thanks to the Broward County Bar Association. Thanks to all the other voluntary bar associations. Thanks to our watch party participants down here in Miami-Dade County. Really couldn't be more happy or happier to be presenting an award to somebody as qualified, as deserving as Judge Beovides. I've known her for many years, served on the CABA board with her, and consider her a friend. This is just an incredibly impressive piece of glass. So I'm gonna hand it to you because it is very heavy, Kristen. You're absolutely right about that. Congratulations, Your Honor.
It does weigh. They're taking pictures over here.
So, Judge, I'm gonna invite you to say a few words, but I'll just kind of guide you a little bit. You've had a very unique upbringing, and when I say unique, I guess what I'm talking about is unique to most watching this, but probably familiar to a lot of people in the room and a lot of people down here in South Florida. The child of Cuban exiles who fled Cuba due to oppression and political persecution. A double cane. It's all about the U out here, guys. How would you say that your upbringing in South Florida and just your childhood and background has prepared you for the practice of law and frankly, as one of our most esteemed jurists on the bench?
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank all the voluntary bar organizations for doing this, and recognizing Hispanic judges throughout the state. I want to congratulate the rest of the award recipients today. I know most of you, I've had the opportunity to know some of you even before I became a judge. So it's a wonderful thing to get spend some time with you, even if it's been on Zoom for quite some time. And I do miss seeing some of you in person. Thank you so much to the Costco in true Miami style. We celebrate as a bunch and as a group. So here we are. And again, to all the voluntary organizations for putting to this event. And I wouldn't be remiss if I didn't thank the Cuban American Bar Association, which has a very special place in my heart, since I did serve on the board for 5 years, was a member before that. And they provide such a huge service for our circuit, our community, and for the judges of the 11th Judicial Circuit. So it's a true honor to be here. In terms of my unique upbringing, Perhaps it's not so unique if you lived in Miami-Dade County, but I'll share it either way. And I was listening to Judge Rebollo, and a lot of his comments and a lot of his history is very much my history as well. My father came to this country at the age of 14. He came in something called Operation Peter Pan, or Pedro, Operación Pedro Pan, which means he came without his parents, and he came along with his sister, who at the time I believe she was either 9 or 10 years old. They lived essentially in a campground until foster care essentially picked them up, and they were shipped to Boston, and they were raised in Boston. My mom came some years later through they were called the Freedom Flights, where she was received here. We have in downtown Miami, it's called the Freedom Tower, La Torre de la Libertad, and that's where she was processed. And she was saying, this is, we're going to help you to get started to live in this country. And again, they were fleeing a country that was, a totalitarian and oppressive regime. And the idea there that I think sometimes it's hidden is that it was a government who at the time was turning around and telling parents that they were going to lose rights to their children, and their children were essentially going to become wards of the state, wards of the government. And even though it wasn't my story, I didn't live through those sacrifices and those hardships. I was raised in a family that was emphasized, that was very much part of my history and who I was. My grandfather, my dad's father at the time was owned schools in Cuba, private schools. And then from one day or another was ripped away from him. Everything that he had worked for his whole life was taken from him. And he went from establishing a pretty good life for himself to washing plates at a YMCA, living in Boston, having to learn a language that was foreign to him as an adult. And from there, he was able to pick himself up once more, work hard, and he was able to open bilingual private schools here in Miami-Dade County. I was fortunate enough that by the time I was born, that's where I went to school. The school's name is Jose Marti School. It's still there. And they opened it in 1974. Still going. That's where I went for childcare. I think from the age 2, I think my parents brought me straight from the hospital to going to school. And the idea there was that education was very much a forefront in my family. And I remember my grandfather who passed away, he would tell me and re-emphasize to me, in life, they can take everything away from you, but they can never take away your education, and they can never take away your work ethic. So I was taught to keep my head low, work hard, and and just focus on your education. And that school to me, and those people that went to school with me, we learned something different. It was more than just learning English, math, science. Every day we learned Spanish. Every day we learned how to write Spanish, but it wasn't just grammar and syntax. We learned Cuban history. The first Friday of every month, we had to do these things called actos cívicos, which is we had to express something about Cuban culture that we had to learn. Because the idea was, while we were ever so grateful to the United States of America for accepting us and giving us these rights and freedoms, we can't forget who we are, and we can't forget where we come from. And more importantly, we learned civics. And that was a very important lesson to learn. And that's something that stayed with me as I got older and I wanted to become a lawyer. To me, the Constitution means so much. It's more than a piece of paper. It's even more than just the rights that are conferred to us. Equally important about that Constitution is our system of checks and balances. It's that rule of law that we abide by. And to me, the best way that I can honor the sacrifices of my parents and my grandparents is when I stood up and took an oath to swear to protect and defend the Constitution. And that's my way to pay it forward and show them that, I will probably never be able to be responsible to free Cuba, which I used to promise my grandfather that I would be responsible for. I can never do that, but I can certainly honor him and honor his memory by doing my job every day in court.
Excellent. Thank you.
One last note that I want to say, because I do have so many of my colleagues that are joining in. I'm lucky and fortunate enough to practice in the 11th Judicial Circuit, which is one of the most diverse judicial circuits that exist. To put it in context, there are 63 Hispanic judges currently serving on the bench. And to the extent that I'm deserving of the award, I share it with all my fellow Hispanic colleagues who are equally deserving of this recognition.
Well said. Thank you, Judge Beovides. Just to kind of fill another minute of the time, what's your band?
I knew he was going to do that. So Judge Rosa, you stole my thunder. I was going to say Celia Cruz, but admittedly, truth to heart, I'd probably try to be Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac.
Love it.
Will you sing one song for us?
I can't sing. I have many talents. Singing is not one of them.
Your Honor, thank you for being here today. Thank you for being an exceptional jurist. Thank everybody here for being here, and thank you to Leon Cosgrove for hosting us. Braulio, your team's wonderful. We appreciate you very much. Turn it over to you.
Thank you, my brother. I want to thank President Bello, no lindo, pero bello. President Chisiver and Jordy, thank you for hosting. Grateful. And another round of applause for Judge Gina Beovides. Fun fact, everyone, 53% of all Florida exports go to Latin America and Hispanic countries in the Caribbean, para nuestra gente.
Next up, we're headed to Sarasota to honor Judge Maria Ruhl with Sarasota Bar Association President Dana Keene. President Keene, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm Dana Keene. I'm the president of the Sarasota County Bar Association, and it is my privilege to introduce Judge Maria Ruhl this evening. Judge Ruhl attended Florida International University, where she earned her Bachelor of Science in Political Science. She then went on to attend St. Thomas University School of Law, where she was a member of Law Review and secretary of the Moot Court Board. During law school, she served as a law clerk for a federal judge in the U.S. District Court, Southern District of Florida. And in 2005, she earned her JD and became a member of the Florida Bar. She began her career in private practice and later founded her own firm practicing in the areas of family, criminal, civil, and immigration law. She and her husband, Rick, who I believe is also an attorney, reside in South Sarasota County with her 4 boys. Judge Ruhl was elected to the circuit bench in 2018. She is currently assigned to the Family Division in the 12th Judicial Circuit, Sarasota. She is the first Hispanic judge in our circuit, county or circuit. So on behalf of the Sarasota County Bar Association, we congratulate Judge Ruhl for receiving this amazing honor this year.
Thank you. Thank you, Dana. And I want to thank especially the Broward County Bar, the Sarasota County Bar, and all the other very many bars that are involved in this wonderful event. I am truly honored to be included in this recognition of Florida's Hispanic jurists.
Judge Ruhl, can you tell us a little bit about your cultural background and what your upbringing was like?
Yes. So I don't love to talk about myself, and just a warning, I tend to get emotional. Surprise, surprise. So I will do my best. I was born in Venezuela, and I think most of us are aware of what's become of Venezuela, a country who has gone through 27 constitutions. And we moved to Florida in 1981. My parents brought us here, me and my 6 other sisters. I'm the youngest of 7 girls. And there's 8 years between sister number 1 and sister number 7, and I am number 7. We were allowed to bring 1 luggage each. We landed in Broward County, Pembroke Lakes, and I was raised in Broward. We went to church in Dade County, a little church named Iglesia Bautista Manuel in Opalaca. And, you know, it was hectic. I know a lot more now than I knew then about the challenges that we were experiencing. I mean, when you don't know better, you don't know better. You don't know what you don't have. And, you know, it was a daily struggle for my mom. My mom raised us. She did the best she could. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my mom. You know, she has been and continues to be my inspiration. She single-handedly raised us, and she did a great job. You know, she was not a perfect parent. You know, I admire those parents that can sit and do schoolwork with their kids and provide for them as far as college. We didn't have that, but we didn't need it. We didn't need it, and it's made us so much better. She taught us the value of hard work. She instilled in us strong values, and I can't thank her enough for it. You know, she She just supported us. She wasn't a woman of very many words, but my God, whatever we wanted to do, she was going to be there to do it. If I, I'm 5'1", and if I would have told her I wanted to be a basketball player in the Olympics, she would have figured out a practice to take me to. She just wanted us to have a better future. And that's what she ended up giving us. My sisters and I are very close. Our whole family is very close. We have, there's a ton of nieces and nephews. There's a ton of kids, but of my sisters, we all went to school. We've all paid our way through school or are still paying through our loans school. And 3 of us have higher degrees. And I still have a sister in Broward. I have a sister in Palm Beach. One sister's out of state in Arizona. And I'm just so eternally grateful for, everything that she did and continues to do for us.
Judge Ruhl, as other people may not be aware, that our circuit is not quite as diverse as Broward and Dade and West Palm. What does it mean to you to be the first Hispanic judge in our circuit?
No, we're definitely not anywhere near Broward and Dade, but the populations are very different. Sometimes I can't even tell the difference. I love our community. I mean, I am a Broward and Dade County girl, right? Before it was Miami-Dade. But this is my adopted home, and I could not have landed in a better place. This community, the 12th Circuit has really embraced me and welcomed me, and my colleagues have welcomed me like family. It's just wonderful. So it means a lot to me, but I have to honestly say there are days that, there's many days I don't even think about it. I think the 12th is growing, and it's growing in diversity, and it's wonderful to be here.
How do you think that your upbringing prepared you for service on the family law bench, which can also be a little challenging at times?
It lends the much needed perspective, I believe, on the family bench. I've seen a lot. I've had my mom, who single-handedly did a whole lot for her kids. It lends perspective where perspective is needed, especially on the family law bench.
Judge Ruhl, we're so proud that you're being honored this evening. It's a great honor for our circuit to have you on the bench, and we appreciate the Broward County Bar Association for choosing you to honor tonight.
Thank you so much. I'm humbled on a daily basis to be able to be here to serve the community I love in this capacity, and I want to thank you all for this. Thank you.
Thank you, President Keene. How about that great story from Judge Ruhl? Judge Ruhl, I think I speak for everybody when I say, Judge Ruhl, you rule. Thank you for opening up and teaching us about you. We're all very proud of your story. Speaking of Venezuela, fun fact, over half of Florida's Hispanics population are either from Cuba, Puerto Rico, or Mexico. But now the numbers are changing, and the rising nationalities are Colombia, Venezuela, Nicaragua, and the Dominican Republic. So more diversity for the state, a great thing. Braulio? Yeah.
Okay, next up, Hillsborough County to honor Judge Michael Bagge Hernandez, mi hermano cubano. We have Tampa Bay Hispanic Bar Association President-elect Natalia Reina.
Buenas noches, everybody. My name is Natalia Reina, and as Braulio just mentioned, I am the President-elect of the Tampa Hispanic Bar Association. Before going ahead with the wonderful task that I was assigned tonight, I want to thank the Broward County Bar Association for taking the lead in putting together this amazing event. It really gives us the opportunity to honor a select group of judges whose careers and life experiences, as we just saw, are truly and are equally inspiring for Hispanics and non-Hispanic attorneys alike. Now tonight, I have the honor and truly a pleasure to introduce the Honorable Michael C. Bagge Hernandez. Judge Bagge Hernandez is a judge whose career, and if I may say his whole persona, in my view, completely embodies the concept of Hispanic excellence. Judge Bagge Hernandez serves as a county court judge in the Hillsborough County. He was appointed to his position by Governor Ron DeSantis in 2019. Prior to taking the bench, he served for 10 years as an assistant United States attorney. 5 of these years he spent in Puerto Rico, and 5 of these years in the Middle District of Florida. During his time at the United States Attorney's Office, he prosecuted many different complex type of cases, including transnational organized crime, narcotic crimes, violent crimes, white-collar crimes, fraud, and money laundering, among others. Additionally, Judge Bagge litigated civil and criminal asset forfeiture cases on behalf of the United States and represented the United States in federal appellate court. Due to his stellar performance at the U.S. Attorney's Office in 2018, the United States Department of Justice Organized Crime and Gang Section selected Judge Bagge Hernandez for a first-of-its-kind detail as a resident legal advisor to the United States Embassy in San Salvador, El Salvador. Judge Bagge Hernandez graduated from the University of Florida State University in 2003 with a degree in International Affairs and Spanish. And as a fellow Hatter, I'm very proud to say that he earned his Juris Doctor degree in 2007 from the Stetson University College of Law. Now, in addition to his successful career, one of the things that I admire the most about Judge Bagge Hernandez is his commitment to education. And when I say education, I do not refer only to his personal education, because fun fact, he speaks 4 languages and is a well-known history buff. But I'm talking about his passion for legal education. In addition to participating in various lectures and talks aimed to provide training for attorneys in the area and mentorship for our law students, Judge Bagge Hernandez is involved in various educational programs sponsored by the United States Department of Justice and by the American Bar Association's Rule of Law initiative. His participation in these programs involves traveling through Latin America to train in Spanish lawyers, law enforcement, judges, and law students whose countries are changing from the inquisitorial system to the accusatorial system. So as you can see, his commitment to education extends well beyond our borders. Judge Bagge Hernandez, on behalf of all the organizations present here tonight, and on behalf of the organizations that are part of the 13th Judicial Circuit, congratulations on this recognition. It is well deserved because you are not only an outstanding jurist, but because your dedication and commitment to help others to become better attorneys has no equal. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I don't know how I follow that. I don't no, but in all seriousness, there you go, Todd. That was your joke for the night. But in all seriousness, I want to thank you very much. Thank you very much, Natalia, my friend Natalia, for such a beautiful, truly beautiful presentation. I can't thank you enough for being here and doing this. I want to thank also the Broward Bar Association. Braulio, thank you very much for organizing this. This is beautiful. The Broward Hispanic Bar Association, the Cuban American Bar Association. I see my friend Dax Bayo there, and of course all the other folks there, the association. He said when I came to Miami that I was I shout out to you, my friend. He said I was the ambassador of Tampa to Miami. I said, that's true. And I'm here to bring a message of peace, love, and that our sandwiches are better. I'm so sorry, but that's just true. But I also want to thank also the Jacksonville Bar Association, Craig Shoup there, the Hillsborough County Bar Association, my home Bar Association, Tampa Hispanic Bar Association, Astrid Guardado, the president who interviewed me initially,
I want to thank you all so much, and everyone that's here taking part. My fellow judges that are being honored tonight. I know many of you, and the ones I don't, I really want to get to know better. So that's my mission for 2021, 2022, to get to know you all. I'm very honored to be here. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, during your career, you have served different roles, right? A litigator, a judge, a mentor, an educator. How have your Hispanic roots influenced the way that you have approached the challenges associated with these roles?
I'm very lucky. I'm very, very lucky to be here from Tampa. I know that everybody thinks that about where they're from, but I love Tampa. When my family came from my mother's family came from Cuba to the United States, they came here to Tampa because this is where they had their family. And many immigrant communities, that's kind of what they do. And so when I think of Tampa, I think of Tampa as the place that gave us a home. The United States gave us freedom, but Tampa gave us a home. And so that's why I love my community so much. And what has challenged me or made me want to challenge myself is I think a lot about my grandmother. My grandmother was my role model. I think about when she left Cuba and came to the United States, what she thought, what she did, what she was thinking, what was life going to be like in this new place that she was going to call home. And so I think to myself, how easy it could have been for her. But she and her family decided to come here and live up to that challenge. I think about my mother, Virginia Covington. She was the first female chief that the Middle District of Florida, the United States Attorney's Office had. She was the first female chief. She was the first female Hispanic judge on the second DCA, and she's the first female Hispanic on the federal bench here in the Middle District of Florida. Challenge is something that is a part of us. When I went to Puerto Rico, I went to Puerto Rico as an AUSA, and I decided to live there the 5 years that I lived there as a challenge. And that having that experience and being in that environment was all part of the challenge. The education part of it came because, again, I think I received the same advice as Judge Beovides received, which was they can take everything away from you, but not your education. So I want to be able to do that and give back the education that I've received along the way. That's why I got very involved in going to different countries in Latin America and help them be a part of this history where they're changing their system from the inquisitorial system to the accusatorial system, which is the system we have. It's you come to court and you show the evidence. There's nothing, hearsay is not allowed. Hearsay is not really permitted. You come to court and you show your evidence. That's our system. And that's what the systems around the Latin America, they want to do as well. They want to replicate that. And for me, I have a personal stake in also doing that as well. Because it's one thing to be able to say, bueno, yo quiero comer un sándwich, o por favor, tráeme un café con leche. But it's something else to be able to say, bueno, vamos a hablar un poquito de el nuevo sistema de la moción para sesenta sumaria. Vamos a hablar de la regla, vamos a hablar del inciso que viene con la regla. Now we've changed a bit the conversation from just sandwich or what I want to do, have coffee, to now we're talking actual legal thoughts and theories. And it was my desire to education, but also a desire to maintain my culture, which is really the only thing that my family was able to bring from Cuba. It's the only inheritance I have from Cuba is my culture and language. And it's actually a great inheritance because the more you use up your language ability, the more you gain. And then being that I was new in Puerto Rico, of course, my Puerto Rican friends embraced me, which I don't know if they were crazy or not to do that, but they did. And so I felt very welcome. And so when I came back to Tampa and came back to Florida, I'm sorry, because I first spent 3 years in Fort Myers and then I came back to Tampa. I saw many people from Puerto Rico as well as many other folks from different parts of Latin America coming to Florida who felt a little bit confused. Maybe they didn't know the language very well. Again, I thought of my family. I thought of my personal family's experience. I thought of my experience in Puerto Rico, not necessarily with the language, but understanding the terrain. So I thought, well, let me help these folks too. Let me return the favor, pass it on.
That's a great perfect for my next question, Judge. On a lighter or maybe a more personal note, Judge, please tell us what is one of the things you enjoy the most about having a Hispanic heritage? Maybe some kind of tradition or thing that you do with your family?
La caja china. If I'm going to be honest, and if I'm going to be completely honest, it's la caja china. I mean, the reality is there is nothing better than caja china. And for those of you who may not be Cuban or not be in a Cuban area, la caja china is the way that Cubans make pork. They literally put it in this box and they cook it all day. I love that tradition. I love the fact that we have family. You know, Natalia, you and I were speaking last night at a bar conference. ¿En qué forma nosotros estamos hablando? Nosotros estamos hablando español. Y más allá de eso, la gente sabía que tú y yo estuvimos hablando español. ¿Por qué? Porque yo estaba usando mis manos, hablando así, hablando bien fuerte. Y ahí después me preguntó, ¿pero por qué tú estabas gritando con ella? Yo no estaba gritando a ella. Nosotros estuvimos hablando. And that's it. And that's what I love about our culture. We have a great expressive culture. And I love the fact that you don't use vos with me because, you know, I appreciate that. I would get too thrown off. You know, the Cubans are usted and tú, and vos would just be kind of out there for me. So I appreciate that. But we have such a rich culture. And, you know, with 22 different countries that have Spanish as their official language, and we have so many similarities, but we have differences as well. And those differences are beautiful. Our similarities are beautiful. I love our culture. We have a great culture. And the other thing that's great about our culture is we can share it. You don't have to be Hispanic to enjoy our culture. I've seen many folks who are not Hispanic come over and comer de la caja china, you know, or enjoy our parties, or even get to the point. I've seen folks that I'm friends with that can't say goodbye unless they give everybody a kiss on the cheek before they go home. That's our culture. That's sharing of our culture. And I see somebody knows that knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Perfect. Thank you, Judge. Thank you for your time and sharing all your experiences with us. And thank you to everybody.
Thank you very much, everybody. I really appreciate it. Muchísimas gracias. Muito obrigado.
You won us over with caja china, Judge. Braulio?
Thank you. Where am I? Thank you, President-elect Reyna. Greatly appreciate it. How about another Zoom applause for Judge Michael Bagge Hernandez? Yay! Speaking of Hillsborough, in the Spanish-American War, fun fact, in 1898, Tampa served as the primary staging area for U.S. troops on the way to battle in Cuba. Aaron.
Now we're going to head on over to Orlando to recognize Judge Gisela Laurent with Orange County Bar Association President Eric Reed and Orange County Hispanic Bar Association President Laura Sanchez. Presidents?
Absolutely. Thank you for having us. I'm Eric Reed. As you said, I'm the president of the Orange County Bar Association. We're certainly delighted to be here participating in this event, recognizing the work of our Hispanic judges throughout the state. My Spanish is very limited. I went through high school in Spanish 4, and I always say to my friends, dame la pizza la puma en la casina, and they still don't know what I'm saying. So please bear with me, but we're certainly glad to be here. And thank you to the Broward County Bar Association for inviting us to participate and allowing me to introduce our next honoree from the 9th Judicial Circuit and my friend, also Gisela Laurent. But I have my colleague, Laura Sanchez. She's the president of the Hispanic Bar Association, and she's going to assist with moderating a few of the questions for our honoree. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce the Honorable Gisela Laurent, Circuit Judge in the 9th Judicial Circuit. Judge Laurent has been serving on the bench since 2017 and previously was a sole practitioner at the Lorett law firm. Judge Laurent is the first female Hispanic judge to be appointed by a governor to the 9th Judicial Circuit. She's a double Gator, so all the Gators, please let's shout out for her. She received both her bachelor's degree and law degree at the University of Florida. Congratulations on this well-deserved recognition. I will now turn it over to Judge Laurent for a few comments.
Good evening, everyone. I can't even begin to explain how happy I am to be here with colleagues and friends across the state. I'm so honored to be receiving this award today, but mostly because I know that it's coming from you guys, my colleagues. And I'll tell you, it's again, thank you, Eric, for that great introduction, and Laura for being here with me, and all the Ninth Circuit attendees. I'll tell you something special about Braulio. I think when the pandemic hit the hardest, or a little bit before that, some of these events were becoming virtual. And I had the opportunity to make it a virtual appearance into Broward, to one of the Broward bar events. And I was just so jealous, because not only did they have so many amazing Hispanic judges, but they also had so many amazing Hispanic attorneys, and they had these great events. And I said, you know what, I need to tap into all these South Florida things that are going on. And so I latched on to Braulio and I said, let me know about everything you have going on. And it truly was a blessing, because I got to meet so many people through Braulio, the Broward County Bar Association, South Florida. I love you guys with a passion, and it's because you give that to everybody that you meet. You give that passion, and it's infectious. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I think that Braulio also lit a fire in me when we first spoke long ago, when I said, wow, it's so amazing how many Spanish judges you have. He's like, well, that's what we're here for. That's what the plan is. Like these bar associations are here to support and to, motivate people to run for these positions like yourself. And he has been true to that since day one. And I'm happy to report that when I first met Braulio, we had 3 circuit court Hispanic judges and 1 county court judge. That was myself. And since then, we now have another Hispanic county court judge, Brian Sandor, and I am now a circuit court judge, and we just took Tarlika from you guys. So we are growing in numbers, and we have no shame in the game. So we love you all. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here, and I'm so proud that with Braulio's influence and motivation, that Ninth Circuit is growing strong.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us here today. My name is Laura Sanchez. I am the current president of the Hispanic Bar Association of Central Florida. Thank you to the Broward County Bar Association for inviting us here, and to be able to honor our amazing judge, Gisela Laurent. Thank you so much. I have known you since, I believe, 2018 now. I know it hasn't been a long time, but you were the first judge that I met at a Hispanic bar event, and you've always been so relatable, so nice, so friendly, and you have that charisma where people can just come up to you, say hi, talk to you. It's amazing. And I know a little bit about you, but a lot of people on here do not know about you. And I know one of the biggest things is the person who has inspired you, right, to become who you are today. And I know that we've spoken about that before. So I wanted to see if you would share a little bit of that with everyone here today.
Thank you. I think, it's been a constant theme that we've all talked about, how our parents have influenced us. And, I am the same. My father and my mother came from the Dominican Republic young. My mom, she was living in a convent because my grandmother had the opportunity to come to New York City to be a maid, but she couldn't bring her kids, and she was a single mom. So she kind of left some at the convent, left some with a sister, and she spread the kids out. But then she finally was able to come to New York City, and she didn't speak the language. She didn't have a job. She ended up working at a doll factory until she met my dad. And then my dad, he had a similar story. He came over. His mom had passed away, and his dad didn't know how to take care of all 17 kids that they had. So they're like, well, we're going to have to come over one by one. He only brought my father, and my dad ended up working at a body shop and basically working on a deal with the owner to live there so he can have a place to live, because my grandfather's found someone and there wasn't enough space. But I just can't imagine, like, all these our parents that would come to a country without knowing the language, without having a job lined up. Like, I remember when I graduated from college and I found a job, then I could move. I just didn't ever think that I would just move without having the job first. And our parents went through those struggles. So my dad also, like Judge Robolo said, was always telling me, I'm working hard so that you will have a future. And both of my parents worked 7 days a week. So I laugh now because I also grew up in a very bad neighborhood and I could have gotten into all kinds of trouble, but I think I was more afraid of my parents. And so I walked the line and studied, and I didn't want their sacrifices to be in vain. So whenever I face any challenges throughout the day or in life, I always say, you know what, you have it easy, girl. It's nothing compared to what your parents had to go through.
That I definitely agree with that. I know I spoke to you before about this, about my heritage. I'm a Cuban, and a lot of my parents, when they came here, they were very, very old compared to a lot of people who come when they're in their teens, right? So they were in their 40s, their 50s, they didn't know the language, nothing at all. So I definitely relate to the fact that a lot of our parents came here to teach us how to be hard workers, right? To work hard for what you believe in and where you want to be. So that's an amazing story. I know I also spoke to you about before the diversity factor, right? How important is that to you, both on a personal level and on the bench as well?
Thank you, Laura. You know, we've had some great input about what diversity means to other judges. And I'll tell you, it's so funny because I'm known for taking naps. Like wherever there's a family party, look for a couch and I'm falling asleep. And so people always know, like, they gift me for Christmas blankets all the time because I love having blankets. And I think of diversity as a blanket too, right? Because a blanket, first of all, it's comfortable, right? It's comfy. You love it. You see it. You want, at least me, I want to grab the blanket. I want to hug the blanket. I just want to be all enveloped in this blanket. And when you see someone who's representative of you or like you, it gives you that feeling of comfort. So diversity to me is a blanket of comfort, of security, of feeling that there's integrity to the system that you're looking at or the organization that you're looking at. And just like a blanket, it's woven with different fibers. And that's all a mixture, you know, is it female, is it male, is it, you know, young, is it old, is it, you know, Cuban, Dominican, Puerto Rican, all these different fibers blended together strengthen the fabric of that blanket. It allows you to have like a deeper perspective. It has more understanding of the people who come before you or who, you know, are part of your organization. And so I mean, come on, let's be real. Have you ever walked into a party and you see people who don't look like you and you're like, I'm not gonna know how to mix and mingle here. But if you walk into a party and people who look like you, you're like, hey, hi, how you doing? You know, and so it just is that comfort that is important for everybody to feel that they can trust where they're at and what they're doing. I think it's very, very important.
Thank you, Judge Laurent, and congratulations. We are so excited that we are able to be here today. And I know that I speak not just for me, but as well for President Reed. We are honored to be here today to give you this amazing award. And congratulations to all of the judges here today. You guys have amazing stories and have done so much for the legal community. Thank you very much. And I'm not sure if President Reed would like to say final words. If not, then I will pass it over to Braulio.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Laura. I'll turn it over to Aaron Abrelio. Thank you so much, and congratulations, Judge Laurent.
How about another round of applause for Judge Laurent? And thank you, Presidents Sanchez and Reed. Last fun fact, because we're wrapping up here for those in the back who don't like fun facts. In Florida, there are more than 266,000 Hispanic-owned businesses. That puts us third in the country, only third to 2 states that have bigger land masses and populations than us. Can you guess which ones? Texas and California. So, Braulio.
Okay, now we have a video message from Duval County recognizing Judge Roberto Arias. And let me share my screen for you all. It's a short little message.
Hello, my name is Craig Shoup. I'm the executive director here at the Jacksonville Bar Association. And on behalf of the entire Jacksonville Bar Association and our coalition of voluntary bars throughout the state, I'm excited and honored to present the Florida Jurist Recognizing Hispanic Excellence Award to the Honorable Roberto Arias this year from Jacksonville. Judge, thank you for everything you do for our community and the community of the state of Florida.
Well, Craig, thank you to you and the Jacksonville Bar Association for this honor. I'm humbled to receive this award from the association, and I am honored also to accompany the many other judges throughout the state that are likewise being recognized for their service to their communities. It's been my pleasure, as always, to be of service to the bar and to the community. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you, Judge.
How about a round of applause for Judge Roberto Arias? Well, it's been a quick hour and a half, but here we are at the conclusion of our program. Thank you for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed this time, and thank you to everyone who's here. Braulio?
Special thank you to all the organizations involved that made this statewide effort. Thank you to tonight's honorees. You make Nuestra Gente very proud. We hope to see you all next year for the 3rd annual Florida Jurist. If you're in town next month, stop by for our Noche Latina, where we'll have paella, dominoes, and cocktails.
And now we're going to have to add Cajachina. So we'll put that on the list for Judge Bagge Hernandez.
And before we sign off, Aaron, I just wanted to do the personal privilege thing. There's a team that behind the scenes works on this to put this together. It's not just Braulio. I'm just, one person. The co-creator of this program is my dear friend, Aaron Gibson. We were dreaming and we came up with this. And our team working together is Kristen Palacio, Naz Hauser, Jeanette Sanchez, Aslan, my staff person, who's my right hand woman, Lauren Rigler-Capote. My son actually worked here today running our Zoom at the Broward Bar. So Anthony Rosa. And I want to thank Michelle Rodriguez, who ran our chat. And I hope I didn't leave anyone off, Aaron. Did I leave anyone of our team that worked this?
If we did, we'll send out a statewide email with their name engraved and something.
Mandamos un email a todo el mundo.
Ya tú
Anyhow,
sabes.
happy Hispanic Heritage Month. And Aaron?
Buenas
noches a todos.
It doesn't work very well on Zoom.
No,
good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Well done, everybody.
Gracias.
Well done, Braulio.
Buenas noches.
Felicitaciones. Adiós.